Hello guys, this is Nicole again. Today I will be doing my persuasive speech and I will be doing it on mandatory Spanish classes. And I know that it sounds a little bit demanding, but there are a few reasons behind why I picked this topic. After the hurricane, I think it was Hurricane Maria happened. Most of you know that I'm from Puerto Rico. And I've been looking at the environment surrounding me and people that are surrounding me, and I've been seeing that the Puerto Ricans and Hispanic population is kind of increasing in the United States. So, due to the fact that in countries like mine, Puerto Rico, and others, in schools they make you take English classes. And I was thinking that because there's so much growth in the Hispanic population in the United States, that would be a good idea. And I do have some notes over here because there are a lot of details that I want to cover in a few minutes. According to Antonio Flores from the Pew Research Center, he studied that in 2016, Hispanic population accounted for 18% of the U.S. population. And we were also the second largest racial group behind whites, which is, according to that, is the largest racial group in the United States. 18% might not sound like a lot, but when you're looking at it as a whole and how many races we have in the United States, how many people we have coming from other countries, 18% is a really big, and it's a really big percentage, and they're actually predicting that it will be growing. From 2015 to 2016, it grew by 2%, which is, again, a lot. And if you're looking at it in years from now, after examples like Hurricane Maria, there are a lot of Puerto Ricans coming over to the United States. So that tells me, and should tell a lot of you guys, that we will have a lot of growth in the Hispanic population, just like they're predicting in some studies. So there are other reasons why I feel like mandatory Spanish classes would be beneficial for people, not just the Hispanic population, but people as a whole in the United States. We have more communication opportunities. So a personal experience I share with a lot of people is that when I came from Puerto Rico, I did not speak any English. I had no way of communicating with others. Technology wasn't as advanced, so I didn't have a translator that was accurate enough to translate everything that I was trying to say to my teachers and my coworkers and my students and people that I was surrounded by. So I had to rely on people that didn't even want to help me. People that spoke both languages, but they didn't really want to help me. So communication opportunities such as speaking both languages would allow people that are learning Spanish and that can fully speak it. It would allow them to communicate with others that come from other countries and visit maybe, or people like myself that travel to the United States, and I just didn't know any English. So there's no way of communication. There's no way of communicating with others. So speaking both languages would increase those opportunities, because we are seeing that the second largest racial group is the Hispanic population. And the other opportunity that it could create is job opportunities. An example I like to use is that hospitals, where I'm working now, they're really short in staff, especially Spanish-speaking staff. So they've been using me as a translator. I'm not allowed to translate because I'm not certified. So bringing that second language into the country officially would mean that more people could get certified with Spanish, being bilingual, and they could translate. We have a lot of visitors from other countries that get into accidents. You never know what's going to happen. So we have a lot of people that get into accidents, or just people like myself, that came into the United States new, and they know no English. So there's no way of communicating with anybody, really. If we don't have staff that speak Spanish, we just can't communicate, and I'm not allowed to translate. So speaking Spanish and teaching kids, especially kids, starting from kindergarten to, like we do in Puerto Rico with English, starting from kindergarten going on to 12th grade and even higher if people want to make Spanish speaking schools, that would increase more job opportunities for kids. That's another thing to think about. I speak to a lot of people and they say, oh my gosh, I wish my kids spoke Spanish and English at the same time. Not at the same time, but that they were able to speak it properly and fluently. And, I'm like, we can do it if we just get ideas like this out there. Maybe they'll work. The other thing is, the more job opportunities, that also increases the places that people could go and travel to. For example, if you want to go to Spain, and you're from here, you're an American citizen or you're a person that doesn't speak Spanish, it's gonna be hard to go over there and be able to communicate. Again, it all goes back to communication. This is why I'm doing this. It's communication skills. This would increase the amount of places you could go. You can go to different countries where they speak Spanish. I should have looked that up, how many countries speak Spanish. But I didn't, sorry. But we have Spain, we have Guatemala, we have Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Costa Rica, Cuba, Mexico. We have so many, and you can pick from any of these. Imagine speaking Spanish fluently and saying, okay, well, I want an adventure for a few years, or I just want to go start somewhere new. And you could pick any of these places because you're able to speak their language. That's another good reason why mandatory Spanish classes would be a good idea. Higher pay is something I always get mentioned, and I've seen it myself. I have seen offers from jobs that say, hey, we'll pay you 50 cents more, we'll pay you $1 more if you come work for us because you speak Spanish. Because they're, workplaces are seeing that Hispanic population is increasing within the United States. So a higher pay is definitely something that pops up when we're speaking of learning both languages. The last thing I want to mention is that it opens up your brain. This is not an easy one. From my personal experience, when you are, I'm going to put myself there. When I'm speaking to several people, I have to constantly translate. My first language is Spanish. So right now what I'm saying, I'm having to translate that in my brain. Which I know it sounds a little bit odd, but I've been doing it for 9 years now. So almost 9 years. So it gets a little bit easier within time. But you do use your brain more, for sure. And this means brain health. I mean, you're exercising your brain. It's just like a muscle or a bone. If you don't stretch every day, if you don't put those muscles to work every day, they do deteriorate within time. Brain is one of the most important things that you can have beside your heart, brain. Because you use it so much during the day. Use it for everything. So having to speak both languages does exercise more, and it makes you more flexible. Speaking of health, mental health. So I think I've given you guys plenty of reasons. I do want to say 4 countries actually that speak more than one language. They are bilingual, trilingual, multilingual, however you want to call it. It all depends on how many languages they speak. We have Singapore, Aruba, South Africa, Malaysia, and there are many others that are countries that speak more than one language. And this proves to us that we can accomplish a bilingual country. And as we get more races in the United States, maybe we'll go into 3 languages, maybe we'll go into 4. We never know. It all starts with making the change. It all starts with one. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your time. If you listen through the whole thing, thank you so much. I do hope that this is a thing that will go out there and get mentioned to people. It might be a good idea, for everybody. I'm the kind of person that likes to stop racism, and this might also increase the chances of stopping racism. So if you want to share, you can. Thank you so much. I look forward to hearing all of your speeches, and I'm so sorry I was late. I've been moving and it's been crazy, but I got it done. So hopefully you guys like it. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Nicole Bigio. Have a blessed day.